Hello everyone. We all have mind and we all have psychology that works connecting the mind and the body. Psychology is composed of three parts: perception, which recognizes information from the outside world; memory, which stores and retrieves the perceived information; and expression, which expresses the results of the mind's work back to the outside world. The human mind takes in external information and expresses internal thoughts and emotions to the outside world through psychological processes. Why? Because we live in relationships with other people. The human mind is necessary for connecting with others. Meanwhile, within the human mind is zest mind. It energizes our minds and bodies. Zest mind also has the psychology that recognizes sexuality, remembers sexuality, and expresses sexuality, but surprisingly, it has nothing to do with human relationships. Zest mind works solely to energize our own mind and body. Mind exists to be with others, but zest mind and zest psychology exist solely for the sake of the individual's mind. In a human relationship, our mind interacts with the other person's mind, and our zest mind energizes our mind. Zest mind is not supposed to be directed at the other person, and the workings of zest mind and zest psychology are not even recognized in the consciousness. Everything you feel when you have sex is felt in the mind. But today this structure is perceived to be completely reversed. The mind is centered on what I feel, what is for me, what pleases me, and it is centered on satisfying individuals' feelings rather than its role in relationships. Of course, it's true that my mind works for me and all relationships start with me, but we are human beings living together, and when mind works only for ourselves, we can no longer move toward shared happiness. There is a more serious problem. The workings of sexuality, which should be yours alone, are directed towards the other person. Everyone who discusses the psychology of sexuality analyzes it, putting meanings in relation to the mind. Having sex is just a sexual action that is the result of the working of mind and zest mind. There is no meaning in the sexual action itself. Having sex should be used solely as a means of energizing one's own mind. What happens when your zest mind is directed toward the other person rather than toward your own mind? Most commonly, we interpret having sex in relation with love and pleasure. We want to look good to the partner, we become possessive or use the partner for our own pleasure, we want to fit in, or we learn sex techniques to show off and please the partner. In modern society, these distorted notions are so thoroughly instilled in us from early childhood sex education that our minds are molded in this direction. The problem with current sex education is that it mostly focuses on having sex and issues related with it. With such a deeply ingrained distortion, how can we possibly have a proper perception of human mind and sexuality? If we can at least get to the bottom of it, then we can at least strive to pursue the right standards, and we can give the next generation the right mindset from the early age. The education program exists to guide you to accurately understand the nature of human sexuality if you are willing to change. When your mind and zest mind are operating in a distorted way, it's only natural that your psychology will break down. Today, psychological problems are so common, and many people live with neurosis, depression, and addictions and don't even realize they have them. It's important to learn what it takes to keep your mind and psychology healthy and what is causing us to live in such a sick and troubled society.